that occurs in the oven.
You got a question?
Yeah.
What did you say? What temperature for how long?
I'd say a safe temperature to roast is like 375 is a safe temperature. Cayenne pepper, which is really good for your blood and circulation. And then I add my salt, and then I toss this with brown rice pasta, which is just simply brown rice and water in a spiral shape. I don't miss pasta. I'm Italian. I grew up in pasta. I use this, and I get energy when I eat versus white pasta that's going to slow me down. Trader Joe's, $1.99. It comes in a spaghetti version. It comes in
the best brown rice as opposed to whole grain.
Yep. Yep.
And again, when you're looking at these type of things, read the ingredients.
Organic brown rice and water. That is it, simply. Okay. I like using this style because it doesn't get mushy. If I forget 1 minute, regular thin fettuccine noodle, it will get gummy. This works really well. This with the tempeh, with the tahini, with roasted peas, you will be freaked out that it doesn't taste like macaroni and cheese.
How do you make that tempeh?
It's oven roasted. I touch sprout and you roast it with something different, like small, like roasted peas, let's say. The peas are going to burn before the Brussels sprouts is cooked. So you have to do it in different batches and blend it together. Come up here. I believe in finishing with a salad. I'm not European, I'm an American, but I believe in the European way of eating. And there's a reason it pushes everything down. So always try to eat your salad last. And I recommend
Tossing your salad.
tossing your salad with rubber gloves, so you're not bruising the leaf. And I love putting like this, just little pieces of cilantro and mint, and this. So also you're eating the salad like, oh, you get a little burst of mint and cilantro and dill. And I had the same, and it's again because my body didn't have olive oil for so many years. You guys would be astonished how much olive oil I put in my body, but it's a good fat. You'll get this.
50 grams of coconut.
Like if you read the flaxseed, you guys will freak out that I tell you to do a tablespoon a day. It's like 14 grams of fat. It's a good fat. It's helping you get rid of things in your body to keep you lubricated and in. You're happy stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know what that is.
I don't need the yogurt, I need
These are sweet things. Who didn't like salmon? This one, right? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Let's watch
I'm
it.
tasting it right.
It's not bad. Right?
Good.
Not fishy tasting, it is better this way.
Right. At home, put it in a Cuisinart or food processor and make homemade breadcrumbs. Okay? So, I sprinkle on top of the salmon, I put fresh squeezed lemon juice on top, and then put it in the oven on a sheet pan that has edges, and then I pour water around it. And the water is helping poach the salmon as well as keeping it moist. And the breadcrumbs just are holding in all the flavor of the lemon juice. And at the end, I finish it with the salt, which I use a pink Himalayan salt. This has 84 to 86 minerals that we can get in our diet every day, these supplements, but this will give you energy. It's fabulous, it's pure, it has not been chemically treated. They sell this at Whole Foods, and they also sell it right here for $1.99. I get so excited when Trader Joe's is out of it, because that means my students are buying it. But it's $1.99, and it comes in this cute little grater. And this is the finishing salt. So for your salads or for your pasta after it's cooked, or your salmon. And I like buying it coarse because then you get the burst of the crystals. But if you want to taste, I'm a salt person. I love salt. And if you're sweating more, you're going to need more salt in your diet. But I really believe in the low sodium diet. So that's why I am constantly reading labels. And if anything is over 200 milligrams, I won't put it in my body. So I make a vat of chickpeas, black beans, pinto beans, and kidney beans, okay? I soak them overnight for like 2 days in the fridge with water, and I just put them on the stovetop. That's the day I'm doing laundry or office work. All you have to do is bring them to a boil and then lower them to a simmer. And you can put a jalapeno in there, or some cayenne pepper, or some garlic cloves, and let it permeate. And then what comes out is beans and chickpeas. That's parsnips. It's good, right? It's sweet. This is what a black bean, when you make it yourself, it should have a little bit of al dente and schmear. Way to make quinoa. But I take roasted peas. I take roasted, I do, like, what is it called? Toasted walnuts. You can saute onions, you can saute garlic. You
don't have to do it on a side dish. You can sprinkle on your salad. I mean, you don't have to.
I toss it in my salad also. The one thing I was going to show you guys is you take chicken and you can bread chicken. I go to the market and when you buy a chicken breast, Usually it's a little bit thicker on one end and real thin on this end. So I put parchment paper down, and I buy chicken breast, lay it down in 5 or 6 pieces, put the parchment on top, take a meat pounder, think really pretty, positive thoughts. You pound it out, and it comes like this nice thin piece of chicken, like this. Okay. So now when I go to pan sear this or cook it, it's going to cook nice and evenly because it's been pounded down. So in my fridge, I have at least 3 or 4 of these already frozen. Okay. Then you're sick of making grilled chicken or poached chicken or whatever it may be. You take a bowl of chickpea flour or brown rice flour or quinoa flour that they make. Okay. Then you take beaten eggs. Yes, it's fabulous. It's a good way of getting protein in your diet. So chickpea flour or brown rice flour. I love brown rice flour. And then you do a beaten egg, and then you have a bowl of Ezekiel breadcrumbs or a bowl of quinoa. So you guys picturing this? So you take your chicken, you put in the flour, you put in the beaten egg, and then you bread it with the Ezekiel breadcrumbs, and it makes like a breaded chicken that tastes like, the other night I made the same exact recipe, but I put pecans in here, and then I toss the Brussels sprouts with rutabaga and carrots and parsnips with a touch of maple syrup. So it had that kind of fall harvest like taste. So the breadcrumbs to me would give not every day with breading, but it gives some flavor and texture to the salmon. But it could also, you could take portobello mushrooms and put them in chickpea flour or brown rice flour, beaten eggs, and then pack it in with this and pan saute it. You will think you're eating a French fry. It's so delicious. Or chicken, to me, chicken is kind of boring, but you can pound chicken so thin, get a nice breast basin of chicken, and pound it, and lay it out so it's real thin, like a cutlet. And then you take your grilled vegetables, your cooked quinoa, your black beans, whatever, and you roll it up, and then you bread it the same method with the flour, the eggs, and the breadcrumbs, and you pan sear it and then oven bake it, and you're having this meal that's all rolled up like in Italian we call it spadini or braciuola. Have you ever heard of that? So the ideas are endless if you have things prepared. You're not going to say, oh, I want to bread a chicken right now. I'm not going to go buy a loaf of Ezekiel bread. You go bread it. But if it's in the freezer ready to rock and roll, and it has to be in the freezer because there are no preservatives in here. So I have one more thing about portion control, real quick. And does everyone know what this is? Besides a golf ball. This is a serving of nuts. So when you say walnuts and almonds are good for you, they are good for you in moderation. So I don't want to see you snacking on a whole bag of almonds, even though they're good for you. A serving size is maybe 6 or 7 walnuts or almonds, okay? That's a serving size. What is this? Who likes cheese here? Anybody? All right, now this is, you know those fuzzy dice? That's a joke. You know those fuzzy dice? That's a dice also, but this is a serving size. 1.5 ounce of cheese, I believe, is a daily recommended.
What, you got 2 dice?
It's two dice. That's what it is. Okay? This right here is 1/3 of a cup, or half of a tennis ball, is a serving of a whole grain, or your pasta, or your brown rice, or whatever you're going to do, is this size, okay? But knowing that you're eating every 3-4 hours, this is all you really need to graze on, okay?
Is that size cooked or ready for you?
It's cooked. It's cooked. And then this is a tennis ball. This is a serving size of fruits and vegetables. But I recommend vegetables. I think you can go limitless. Unless it's a potato or starchy. I think, and bananas are high in sugar, so you have to be careful. But this is a serving size, that amount. And this right here is a deck of cards, obviously, but it's a serving of meat or chicken. It's this size. Or a thick piece of fish is this size. These are the fish that I recommend personally is salmon, mackerel, herring, tuna in moderation, not in a can, and, hold on, trout. That's what they say. And they know who else says it? Dr. Oz. I don't even watch Dr. Oz. Yeah, they say mackerel's really big. And halibut. I said halibut, yeah. That was great. But everything in moderation. You don't want fish every day. You don't want chicken every day. You want meat every day. Everything in respect it. One day just eat beans. One day tempeh. One day just eat all vegetables and fruit. One day meat. I eat meat every 25 days. That's it.
Sundays I only eat 2 meals. Usually 2 or 3 meals, as opposed to my 5 or 6, because when you give your body a break from digesting food all day, all week, it helps your immune system regain its strength and the digestive enzymes and stuff like that. So Sunday is my day where I don't work out, I just kind of relax, I don't have to eat much.
I call myportionsize.com. That's where I got all this information from. So we're just looking to that. And then, and of course, if you're working out, things change because you need more protein. But I also recommend if you can't find it, I want you to look it up. It's called God's Pharmacy. Has anyone ever heard of this? Have you heard of it? Okay, it talks about, like Todd was saying when he came in, I believe if you can't pick it, or like harvest it, or, you know, like something that we can get from nature, or grow it, we should be eating it. It should come in a pretty packaging and we have to unfold the rip and read the label on it, you know? Things that are good for you usually don't have a label, okay? So I recommend reading this thing. It's called God's Pharmacy, and it talks about how in nature there's things that there's like visual. For example, walnut. What does a walnut look like? A pure fruit, right? A walnut looks like a little brain, and what is it good for? Our brain. The tomato has 4 chambers. If you ever look at a tomato, and what's it good for? It's for our heart. So it's amazing. There's actually 14,000. They're called phyto something nutrients. Yeah, but no, it's whole. It's not the word I'm looking for, but it's called God's Pharmacy. Right now, we only know 141 of them, of why they relate to our body and how they're good for us, but it's astonishing. Like, they say that our body is made up of, our bones are made up of 23% sodium. And what does a bone look like? A celery stalk or a rhubarb? And rhubarb and celery are made up of 23% sodium. So it's amazing how it looks like a bone. So just read into that. It's just really cool how in nature, we changed it. We should just eat the way that we did way back when.